watching some active weather here, kind of surrounding Metro Louisville, especially off to the north and just out to the west. You can see that darkening sky right now. And we do have a brand new severe thunderstorm watch that does cover much of the area, especially along and east of I-65. This does not include many areas in southern Indiana west of I-65, but does include all of our Kentucky counties in the WHS 11 viewing area until 8 p.m. We do have this front moving through, interacting with some moist and fairly unstable air, so it is producing a few strong thunderstorms. We have one severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 2. That storm is now moving out of the viewing area and out of Washington County. The main warning we're watching right now and keeping an eye on is a severe thunderstorm warning that includes Clark and Floyd counties in Indiana, and also the northern edges of Jefferson County, Kentucky, and Metro Louisville up towards Prospect and Portland. But notice that the very southern edge of this complex of storms is cruising just along and north of the Ohio River. So the main impact here right now over Clark County, Sellersburg, a big concentration of frequent cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, an indication that this is a pretty strong thunderstorm, obviously, here around Henryville, south to Sellersburg, down 65 into Clarksville and Jeffersonville, and over the knobs as well into Floyd's knobs as we have our main impacts. We could get some isolated damaging wind gusts up around 60 miles per hour. We did have that thunderstorm that moved through LaRue County, causing some damage in some spots there. So these storms have had a history of producing at least some wind damage. And notice this here, we do have a tornado warning that just came out here, Sam. This includes Oldham County, Prospect, and eastern Clark County. So there's that little wrap right here, this wedge. And so we are getting some circulation. This will likely be some brief circulation, possibly a tornado on the ground near Goshen, Kentucky, so into Oldham County, crossing the Ohio River right now, just off to the southeast of Charlestown. So this is going to be just to the north of the East End Bridge is where we have this area of rotation. You can see that wedge right there where this kink in the thunderstorm, that leading edge. So sometimes that can produce a brief spin-up tornado, possibly EF0, EF1 strength out of that. That can definitely do some tree damage, maybe a little roof damage as well. So get in your place of shelter if you're in Oldham County right now. This tornado warning goes until 2:15, just issued here. This is going to include areas along Highway 42. We do have the potential of a spin up right here, a tornado possibly on the ground near Goshen, River Bluff. Here's Kentucky 329. Just off to the north of Crestwood, Dipleytown, Greenhaven, much of Oldham County. You want to go ahead and be in your lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows. As we expand out our view a little bit, here's a track on where this thunderstorm is heading. It is traveling off to the east and northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So that's going to put it into Crestwood at about 2 o'clock. It looks like that circulation, as we just showed you, just north of Crestwood into LaGrange at about 2:05 to 2:10. So a few minutes from now, be seeking shelter, again, away from the doors and the windows. Put as much space between you and the outside of your home. Lowest level of your home. If you don't have a basement, you can be in the bathroom, maybe in that interior closet. If you've got time, grab some blankets or pillows, some things to help protect you as well, with the potential of a tornado on the ground crossing the Ohio River from eastern Clark County and moving into Oldham County, just off to the north of Prospect is where we have that potential rotation. This storm could be heading toward Anchorage as well at around 2:10 to 2:15, into Campbellsburg at around 2:15, and eventually into Henry County, into Newcastle at about 2:25. Again, just want to mention that the storm that had a severe thunderstorm warning on it as well is now moving out of the viewing area that was in the Springfield area in Washington County. Sam, I'm going to let you go ahead and take control here, and I want to go back to the storm that's near Metro Louisville.
Yes.
So this is the one that we're watching. Currently, where are we at? 155. So this tornado warning is out for about 20 more minutes there, just to the north of Prospect. Let's go ahead and let you put that velocity back on. Let's see where that rotation is now. Since this is a thunderstorm that's moving pretty quickly, we're going to need to just keep a very close eye on this here in western Oldham County. So as we go ahead and take a closer view, I know you've got the velocity behind you. Let's go ahead and put that product here behind me as well, so we can see where that possible rotation is. We also have some very heavy rainfall here around New Albany. into Floyd's Knob. So we should be on, are you on max 1 here, Sam?
Yeah, I'm on max 1. That's what velocity is at.
Yeah,
there it
you
is. Yeah, so the area of concern, like Ben's been talking about, and basically right along the Ohio River itself, right along that Oldham County line with the state of Indiana. So extreme southern portions of Charlestown, the city of Charlestown, right over Indiana Highway 60, is it 62, I believe? And of course, this tornado is going to be trekking its way to the east to northeast. So if you do live in this area on the north end of Goshen towards Old Taylor Trail this afternoon, Harmony Lake Estates in Goshen itself, you need to make sure you're getting down to your basement right now, Ben.
Yeah, there you go. And this is going to be moving quickly to the east. And this scan can be, maybe a minute or two behind. So we're likely going to see this area of rotation move this direction with the next scan update. So right up Highway 42 up into northwestern sections of Oldham County, areas right along the river. So just going to kind of watch out here and there, the Dipleytown area, and then likely heading towards Greenhaven, Kentucky, again, right along Highway 42 in Oldham County. Now, if this circulation does continue to hold together, obviously we hope it does not. Let's slide this map over to the east a little bit, Sam, and it looks like we're going to need a heads up here for some areas farther off to the northeast. That's going to include town of Oldham and then LaGrange. We're going to need to keep an eye on you guys as well as that circulation heads that way. So be seeking shelter for a little while. This won't take long to get in and out. That's kind of the good thing about these quickly moving thunderstorms. That threat is not going to last very long. So heading towards Buckner at about 2:05, Buckner Elementary. Also around that same time into Greenhaven at 2:05, Oldham County High School at 2:05, and then into LaGrange at around 2:10. So moving right through north central portions of Oldham County is where they have the potential of some damaging wind gusts and can't rule out a little brief spin-up tornado as well. Let's go back to reflectivity. Maybe take a look at the CC, see if you see any possible debris out of this as well.
Yeah, let's get the correlation coefficient up on this storm.
And what we have is a large thunderstorm warning until 2:15, and then embedded in that severe thunderstorm warning is a potential tornado on the ground. It is radar indicated at this time. We don't have a confirmation that it's on the ground, but we've seen that circulation in these areas of Oldham County crossing the Ohio River. So we don't necessarily see any kind of what we would call a debris signature, debris ball that indicates a tornado on the ground right now, but possibly some strong winds kicking up some leaves where we see these colors right here heading towards Dipleytown and into the Greenhaven area. What is normal raindrops is all the same color. Once you start to get different colors like this, that does indicate the possibility that the winds are very strong and possibly lifting up, again, some leaves and things like that. So as we go back to our regular reflectivity, the regular radar view here, let's get our bearings here on, if you're in Metro Louisville, the worst of it is off to the north. So you can see that we do have some rain moving into downtown and the potential of some strong winds. But right now that circulation off to the north, very heavy rain coming down in this thunderstorm. We're getting probably 1 to 2 inch rainfall rates per hour, frequent cloud to ground lightning strikes. And it's been this little bit of a kink right there in the leading edge of this thunderstorm that we've been watching right over the Ohio River and just to the north of Highway 42 to the north of Goshen. Now, anywhere along this, almost like a mini bow echo, you could have some damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. That can cause some tree damage, some power line damage, maybe some spotty power outages. Not going to be surprised by that here in Oldham County. So continue to seek shelter if you're in this red area, this polygon right here. So that does include Dipleytown, Greenhaven, Sunset Village, Goshen, and near the River Bluff area. But once you get this portion of the thunderstorm east of you, that threat of the damaging winds goes down rapidly. So we're in a lot better shape around Goshen and into the River Bluff area. Not concerned about that tornado threat around Charlestown, Indiana, even though that tornado warning is very close to you guys. But you are under a severe thunderstorm warning for a little while longer. So with that latest update here, with that scan here on Max HD radar, you can see this ragged edge, and sometimes you can get these little brief spin ups. They may only last a few minutes, but can do some damage. So while we have the tornado warning, just be continuing to seek shelter in the lowest level of your home and away from the doors and windows. That includes you guys here in Greenhaven. Here's a look at the connection of 393 at 42, Highway 42 up in Oldham County. That's where we have the potential of some rotation in that area, also near the skylights portion of Oldham County. So let's go ahead and back up the view again once more here, Sam. Out ahead of this, we also have a severe thunderstorm warning that it does include the kind of western edge of Henry County, just off to the west of Newcastle, and then stretching into Trimble County as well as you continue to make your way up Highway 42. So along and north of I-71 is where we have our impactful weather that we're watching here. This tornado warning that we have issued here recently goes until 2:15, so about 14 more minutes is what we're watching. And by that time, it's moving quickly enough that it's going to be moving to the edge or moving out of the actual tornado warning. We'll wait and see if that does get continued farther off to the east and northeast. But a new track on this, just want to be in your place of shelter here, in your safe place. If you're around Crestwood, heading your direction here in just a couple minutes at 2:04 into Buckner, at about 2:06 into LaGrange on our storm track at around 2:10 to 2:15, into the Lero area at 2:15, Pendleton 2:18 into Smithfield at around 2:20 to 2:25. Campbellsburg heads up as we approach 2:30 p.m. and then in the Newcastle area, now we're moving into Henry County at about 2:30. So the worst of this thunderstorm staying just off to the north of the Waterson, basically. So right near downtown. Let's go ahead and scoot the map off to the southwest.
Yeah, Ben, speaking of downtown, I wanted to mention one of our Crusade folks, Sean, just walked into the studio about 5 minutes ago and reminded me that in downtown right now, the sirens are alarming. So even though Louisville itself, Metro Louisville, is not in a tornado warning, the sirens are underway in the city. It's something to be taken pretty seriously because this severe thunderstorm warning does have a possible tornado tag on it. That means that there could be just some brief circulation going on, and there could be a possible tornado, including downtown. So folks in Louisville need to be taking it seriously, even though we're not considered in a tornado warning right now.
And there is often a test on Tuesday as well for the tornado sirens, so that could also be part of the equation here. Sometimes we do those weekly tests on Tuesday, so that could be part of that. But we did some very heavy rainfall here right near downtown, basically Broadway and north is where that rain is coming down very heavy, and then stretching up basically River Road up I-71 is where we have heavy rain crossing over into Jeffersonville, into Portland, New Albany. You're going to get some more of this very heavy rainfall, so some ponding of water possible on the roadways. Severe thunderstorm warning, again, that you can see just barely clipping downtown along the Ohio River, and then that does include Portland out towards the bridge as well, so the Sherman-Minton Bridge. As we look off to the northeast once more, there you see most of Metro Louisville, by the way, not impacted by these strong thunderstorms. So we continue to have this tornado warning until 2:15, so about 10 more minutes because of this area that has this little bit of a kind of a wedge shape right there. You notice that the front edge of this thunderstorm is not linear. It's not in a straight line. So there's the potential that we have some rotation still there in north central Oldham County, kind of right along Highway 40 is where we're watching that potential of some circulation. Have not had an official report of a tornado on the ground. Again, this is radar indicated, but again, watching this very closely. And sometimes we get the reports after the fact, after we show you what's on the radar. Sometimes a half hour later, we get the reports that there actually was some damage. There could also be some quarter-size hail with the strength of these thunderstorms. So just want to wait it out inside until it'll move on through. Since we've been on here for about 10 to 15 minutes, the leading edge of this has moved from eastern Clark County now to eastern sections of Oldham County. So it's moving pretty rapidly, heading towards LaGrange. LaGrange, stay in your place of shelter right along I-71 there. Up to Highway 42 is where we have the worst and most threatening portion of this thunderstorm. Let's go ahead and bring back the velocity product here, Sam, and see how our rotation is looking. I wouldn't say this is a real organized rotation, which is good. We don't want to see that. But these deeper red colors here, if you want to click on some of these, We're probably getting some pixels up in excess of 50 miles per hour. So we're looking at the potential of some localized damaging wind gusts around the Greenhaven area and the Dempsey town. If we can keep that below 50, that would be a great thing. So we're not seeing really tight rotation that would indicate a tornado on the ground right now. We certainly don't want that to be the case, but we are seeing the potential of some strong wind gusts in this kind of brighter color area that you see here, right along 393 and 42. So not going to be surprised if we get a few reports of some isolated damaging wind gusts here in the north central sections of Oldham County. Now, the worst of this has moved to the east of you guys here in Goshen, east of Sunset Village. Do want to give you the all clear when it's safe and you don't have to worry about the worst part of the thunderstorms anymore. Charlestown, yeah, you're getting some scattered heavy rainfall and some lightning and thunder, but this is the area of concern that we're watching as it heads towards the LaGrange area. And this tornado warning, we'll kind of wait and see if it does get continued, but right now it will continue for just a little while longer as it goes until 2:15 right now as we approach 2:06.
Right,
so,
and Ben, with that, actually, we did get, we're in a chat room with our National Weather Service here in Louisville, and we did get a latest message saying that they're watching the latest scans pretty closely. They are going to be possibly extending this tornado further east and southeast towards Henry and Trimble counties. This is something that we're watching still at this hour, but between Skylight and Buckner, this tornado is kind of occluding row now. So they're watching kind of the information on this tornado in the next couple of scans, and they're going to be possibly extending this warning. So something we're watching pretty close.
And I would say potential tornado. There's not a confirmation that we have a tornado on the ground. This is not confirmed. This is radar indicated. So as we back up our view a little bit here, there's the new tornado warning. If you want to go ahead and go back to reflectivity here, Sam, and go towards a little bit of a broader view. So we do have a continuation and expansion of that tornado warning that's going to take this into the rest of Oldham County, basically along and north of 71. As you continue up I-71, then you've got the tornado warning now, including Newcastle, the western sections of Oldham County, and then the southern areas of Trimble County, just to the south of Bedford. So that is going to go. So we've got this warning here goes until 2:15. Is that new warning? Is that until about 2:30, 2:45?
This new warning goes until 2:30 this afternoon.
Okay.
The storm's moving east at 35 miles an hour, Ben, to get the exact numbers on it. And it's still radar indicated. So we didn't get confirmation of a tornado quite yet, but hey, of course, you got to be taking it pretty serious. So a couple of cities just to mention, Dempseytown, Greenhaven, Campbellsburg, Pendleton, Oldham, Buckner as well, and Sulphur need to be kind of on high alert here with this possible tornado.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put some of the safety tips on here, full screen. So just you want to stay calm. We're going to give you the heads up. We're going to give you the storm tracks to give you the timing of when this is going to be heading into your area. But you want to be in the lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows. You want as much space, as much room as you can get between you and the outside walls. That green is the place to go. That might be your interior hallway, your interior closet, stairwell, bathroom. You can grab blankets or pillows and get to the basement. If you have a basement, that's going to be your safest place. And then have your first aid kit ready to go. Some of those safety items, hopefully you got your cell phone charged up, ready to go as well. So we do have a severe thunderstorm watch that goes for many areas along and east of I-65, really kind of the eastern half of our viewing area until 8 p.m. But our immediate concern is this tornado warning that is out now until 2:30 p.m. It won't take long for this to move out of Oldham County, but notice that we are getting some stronger areas of heavy rainfall on the southwest side near Prospect. So it's kind of, the storm is kind of expanding off to the south a little bit, getting some heavy rainfall here within the Waterson as well, near the Highlands, St. Matthews. Very heavy rain coming down in New Albany. Going to watch out for ponding of water on the roadways, and we're going to watch all these areas very closely just because there's the potential of a brief spin-up tornado. But right now, our main threat here still in northern Oldham County into Henry County in southern Trimble County. We mentioned storm tracks, Sam, so let's go ahead and put a track on that as it moves off to the east-northeast at 35.
Yeah, so it's moving east-northeast around 35 miles an hour, and this latest track actually has it getting pretty close to New Liberty towards the Monterey area, the city of Gratz, right around 2:43, right towards the Kentucky River itself, probably around 2:40 this afternoon. So Campbellsburg Fredericksburg, probably in the next 10 minutes, as this storm is going to be really extending in our far northeastern spots. Again, it's radar indicated, like Ben's been mentioning so far. Newcastle around 225. But again, Ben, this is something got to be taken very seriously. There could actually be a tornado that does form any minute now.
And Doug, did you want to mention something?
Ben, coming in here just a second ago, I was on the phone with the Executive Director of Louisville Metro Emergency Services, Jody Myman. I got to say, quite the unreal sound and scene to come into downtown Louisville with tornado sirens going on. But it's always good, as you know, to match up your radar reports with what we have reality for Louisville. And so far, so good. I just want to let you know, he told me that they have no damage reports whatsoever, no touchdowns of any tornadoes. And he is also with the Metro, the suburban fire districts, and getting their reports coming in. And nobody has been dispatched to any kind of damage reports here. Now, that's not to lower the expectations, as our team here has been telling you. This tornado warning is going to continue as it continues to be extended out to the east. But is good news so far for Metro Louisville, and that is from the head, executive director of the Louisville Metro Emergency Services. This came out of the storms, as you said, as maybe a precaution, but so far there are no damage reports anywhere in the metro area.
And Doug, I'm not sure why that siren may have gone out. I know they do Tuesday tests sometimes every weekly.
At noon, every second Tuesday at noon is usually when that goes off.
So maybe that wasn't because of that. But the tornado warning never for Louisville. This is for Oldham County and also for Henry County and southern Trimble County right now. So this is our main area of concern that we're watching. There is still just a little bit of a notch right here just to the north of LaGrange. The highest potential, if there was a brief spin-up tornado, would be this location right here between LaGrange, between Oldham and Oldham County, now to the east of Greenhaven. We've got a concentration of lightning strikes that indicates that the storm is still very strong. We've got some deeper colors of some red here, indicating the potential of some hail too, probably dime or nickel size hail. The hail probably not super large with this, but a heads up, Pendleton, be seeking shelter in your safe place. You can see this is right along 153, Highway 42 coming into 153 near the Pendleton area. So this is going to be heading towards 157 as it moves into Henry County, into the Newcastle area. So we don't see any really tight circulation where you'd say this is, yes, 100% chance that this is a tornado. We just see that there are some little jagged edges here indicating the potential of a brief spin-up tornado. So this is all radar indicated. We do not have a confirmation that there is a tornado on the ground. I'm not seeing anything really greatly organized here with our velocity signature. There is still some brighter colors here between Oldham and LaGrange, up 53 and 42. That indicates a potential of some isolated damaging wind gusts that are going to be heading towards 153, 146, heading into the Pendleton area. There's the Pendleton exit along Interstate 71. So again, Sam, nothing really crazy standing out as far as the velocities, which is what we love to see. We don't want to see this get any more organized.
No, yeah, exactly. In fact, the National Weather Service is still watching this pretty closely. They're most concerned right now with this tornado warning on the southeast flank of the cell. They think that there could be some additional rotation towards the southeast side of the storm. But in the meantime, yeah, it's still, there's no confirmation of a tornado, but you still need to be taking this very seriously, because in a matter of just moments, there could be a spin-up tornado. But like Ben's mentioned, there's no broad rotation with this tornado warned storm, but this is, again, the main concerned area will be mainly along into the north of LaGrange. So this has mainly been an area where along Kentucky Highway 53 up just to the north and west of Pendleton. And take a look at all the lightning strikes. It's been a big feature with this storm. We've been looking at about wind gusts around 60 miles an hour with this tornado warning. And there's also been some reports possible, no reports actually, but I do want to mention that hail could be estimated to be around quarter size with this storm. Ben, before I toss it back over to you, I just want to mention as well, the east end of Jefferson County, a new little cell popped up. We're watching some very heavy rainfall rates over Linden, St. Matthews, just before this afternoon rush hour commute.
It was torrential rain, as you all have been clearly describing here on the air. I will say that the number of power outages in Metro Louisville, according to LG&E, and as we know, when these storms pass, is usually when the numbers go up. Very minimal. We're at 35 right now. Once again, just double checking seconds ago while You were talking, Sam, with Jody Myman, the head of Louisville Emergency Management. Still no change in the report I gave you moments ago. Metro Louisville has no damage whatsoever, no tornado touchdown anywhere in Jefferson County as the storm moves out off to the east. Don't want to diminish the concern we have now, as Ben is standing right there ready to track it a little more. Ben?
Yeah, I do want to emphasize again, this tornado warning not for Louisville was not for Louisville. It's for areas off to the northeast. Let's expand our view a little bit here. In fact, there's not even a severe thunderstorm for Louisville at this time. So thankfully, not seeing a significant damaging wind threat right now in Louisville. Watching this expansion, though, of the south side of this thunderstorm, up here around the Anchorage area, you might get some gusty winds, and this is a little bit of an outflow boundary right here. Sometimes the winds can be a bit gusty along that. That is some of that rain-cooled air that's gusting out ahead of the thunderstorm towards Fern Creek and Valley Station. Then you've got non-severe thunderstorms and some pockets of heavy rain out to the west and to the north over parts of southern Indiana. But again, main concern here at 216, we've got this tornado warned area until 2:30. That does include Newcastle, kind of the western central sections of Henry County, the southern areas of Trimble County that's south of Bedford, and then also northern half basically of Oldham County that does include LaGrange. This is not looking very organized to me. Yeah, there are some little ragged little notches here that can sometimes produce a very short-lived, brief spin-up tornado, maybe kind of like EF0 damage, which can be very similar to your isolated damaging wind, straight-line wind gusts in excess of 60 or 70 miles per hour. So yeah, not going to be surprised if we see a few power outages here in Oldham County. Notice this leading edge is about to head over Interstate 71, Sam. So the leading edge is where the threat is. So that's going to be moving east of LaGrange, very quickly east of Oldham County. We do see a little purple area here. If you want to put on the hail product, we might be seeing maybe up to quarter-size hail, possibly here along the county line, Oldham and Trimble County lines, where we have the potential of some hail there. And the hail product not even picking that up. So
yeah, that's kind of a weak signature there.
Yeah. So hail's not going to be there.
Oh, there it is.
It just took a little while for the data to pop in. So maybe around half inch to an inch size hail that we're watching out for, quarter size hail maximum around Highway 42 and near the county line. So let's go ahead and expand back out. The main threat here again is going to be northeast of Metro Louisville up I-71. So this is this area right here in this polygon, but it's that leading edge. So the back half of this tornado warning, we're really not concerned about that right now. That is Oldham County almost in the clear as far as that tornado threat, as the leading edge is now moving into Henry County. Still, just be on guard, be in your safe place here. If you're around Newcastle, west central Henry County, be in your safe place, lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows, play it safe. This is, again, not going to last very long whatsoever. It's moving east-northeast at around 35 to 40 miles per hour. This might be a threat that only lasts maybe 5 or 10 minutes for your neighborhood. And then it'll be moving on out and hopefully weakening with time as well. It is coming up to about 2:20, so this tornado warned area until 2:30, so about 10 more minutes. Unless this continues on, we'll go ahead and wrap this up in about 10 minutes. But for now, watching this leading edge very closely up to Interstate 71 as it moves into Henry County. Let's look at the entire viewing area just to kind of reset, get our bearings here. We do have a tornado, not a tornado watch, a severe thunderstorm watch, I should say, for much of the viewing area that goes until 8 p.m. Let's go ahead and put on that watch, the new severe thunderstorm warning out.
Here's the watch here. Ben, I just want to mention we did get some new reports coming in. One from an emergency manager in Oldham County. He did report that there's hail confirmed along U.S. Highway 42 and Old Sligo. He's working on a picture, so that should be in fairly soon. And then also I wanted to mention that a lot of schools, of course, this is that popular time of the afternoon where the kids are being picked up from school. So this is going to be something to be watching pretty closely, and just take note of that, especially for parents in a lot of these school districts here off to the east.
Yeah, so another reminder for us for the rest of this afternoon. Well, we hope this threat will kind of move to the east of us over the next couple of hours, and we'll see this trimmed up, and the threat will move off towards Lexington and areas in the Bluegrass and east of our viewing area. But for now, a lot of areas along I-65 and east under that severe thunderstorm watch until 8 p.m. I do think that threat will end quite a bit sooner than that. In fact, let's go ahead and look at Futurecast here briefly, then we'll get back to a track on those strong thunderstorms off off just northeast of Metro Louisville. So Futurecast, as it loads up its data, is doing a decent job showing us where we have the thunderstorm activity right now. Again, up I-71 is starting to expand a little bit more to the southwest. Notice much quieter over southern Indiana. As we move forward in time, this is all going to move off to the east. So this is the next hour or so, starting to see that leading edge moving east of our viewing area into the bluegrass and off towards Lexington. As we head towards about 5, 6 o'clock, starting to see this wind down and move off to the east and southeast as that front moves through. We get that wind direction shift, that airflow from the west to push this all out of here, and things will really begin to calm down after around 6, 7 o'clock. Still be a little bit breezy, but that severe weather threat will definitely calm down. Doug?
Ben, I'm getting reports now in from the Oldham County DES officials there, and they're also confirming no reported damage at all. As Sam just reported, they had pea-sized hail along U.S. Highway 42 there in Old Sligo, Kentucky there in Oldham County. And once again, Ben, here we're at the end of September, and we have a tornado warning going off. I know we've had them in the wintertime. I've seen them in July. It just seems such an odd time of the year for this to be happening, especially so eerie to come into downtown with the sirens going off, the sun off to the left, torrential rains coming down to the right. I was driving, couldn't record it for you, but that was the scene, and then it's now gone.
Yeah, I mean, we can get ingredients for severe weather and possibly tornadoes any month out of the year, as we know. We do have, what we have is kind of, the humidity is up. We've got the atmosphere, as you mentioned, some sunshine out there becoming a little bit unstable. We also have a little bit of jet stream energy to keep these storms a bit strong. So a little bit more like a springtime setup here, as you mentioned, in late September, for just a little while longer. This setup is not going to last all that long. Still watching this tornado warned area. It has shrunk now, so Oldham County really out of the threats of a tornado, and still watching out here near Newcastle. I'm not seeing anything really that's pointing to me that there is a tornado on the ground at this time. Let's go ahead and put the reflectivity back on, Sam, and then after that, we'll go ahead, the velocity, and then we'll go back to a storm track. So I'm not seeing the greens and the reds next to each other, what we call a couplet. There are some brighter areas that's still indicating over 40-mile-per-hour winds. Typically, you're going to get wind damage 55, 60 plus miles per hour. You'll start to get some of the tree damage and some of the power line damage. So thankfully, no reports out of Oldham County of damage. We've just had some small hail reports around Highway 42. Generally, we can handle 40-mile-per-hour winds, and that's we like to keep it that way. Let's expand out a little bit farther, and with this color palette that we have on the velocities, if we see any brighter areas or any greens and reds next to each other, that's really going to point out to us that there could be some circulation. Not seeing that so far. So far, this looks like it's behaving itself much better than it was when we had that circulation a lot tighter when it was moving out of Clark County and into Oldham County. So the threat doesn't look all that great at this time. Again, as we approach 2:30 here in just a little bit, that's when that tornado warning will expire, and it looks like that threat is kind of moving to almost to the edge of that tornado warning, Sam. So also one thing to notice, we're getting, as we go back to that reflectivity, we have this outflow boundary, if you want to zoom back into the metro. So that can sometimes, this outflow right here, this little bit of green out ahead of the red, that is the rain-cooled air that's kind of splashing out ahead of this thunderstorm. That can sometimes weaken portions of the storm and make them more unorganized, but it can also pop up additional thunderstorms as well. So we're going to continue to watch every portion of these thunderstorms as they did produce some damage down to the south, down towards Hodgenville, LaRue County. We had some earlier damage reports. If you want to pop up those reports here in a little bit. But Doug, did you have another?
Yeah, I think in the end here, Ben, you're going to find that your descriptions of what you've been watching all afternoon are very accurate. Here again, talking to the South Oldham Assistant Fire Chief, texting me here saying, Doug, they're currently investigating a tree down in North Oldham. So far, that's all we have reported, which is awfully good news to hear. One tree down in North Oldham. Looking at the LG&E power outage map, that's another great story to be passing along here, especially since we had tornado warnings issued. We have minimal power outages in Louisville, which really haven't changed since we've been on the air here, to about 35 out here. And Oldham County from LG&E is reporting right now, let me update that, less than 5 outages at the moment. So that number may go up just a little bit as the storms pass through the areas. We've always seen that ticks up a little bit, but so far it hasn't changed at all. Ben, Sam?
Yeah, and this storm's been kind of skirting and skipping along the northern fringes of Jefferson County, Kentucky, northern metro area, and now the worst of it well to the northeast. And so the heavy rain coming down around I-71. It looks like, Sam, they've expanded into a severe thunderstorm warning to include the northern sections of Henry County. So I would guess here very shortly this tornado warning will expire, probably replaced by a severe thunderstorm warning, unless something changes and we start to see better rotation. But right now, this doesn't look all that greatly organized as it continues to move off to the east-northeast at around 30 miles per hour.
Yeah, Ben, feeding off of what you just mentioned, actually, a new report just came in from the National Weather Service, just a message from one of their staff members. They did say that unless if they see sudden reversal of this trend, they're noticing there's a weakening trend in the rotation, and they're likely going to be letting the tornado expire in about 4 minutes, right at 2:30. So that's some good things. That's some good suggestions. Of course, there's still time for things to change. All it takes is a couple of seconds to a minute for things to change with Mother Nature, but we are liking the trend here, a weakening trend with this tornado warning right now.
No doubt about it. Let's make it behave. That's what we want here through the afternoon. We want to keep everybody safe as well. And if there are any future alerts, we're going to get them right to you right here on air on WHS11.com, on our social platforms as well. Grab our WHS11 app. It's got interactive radar, alerts, notifications, more weather information that can be very useful to you as well. So Campbellsville, just want to be staying in your place of shelter until that can move on through. Newcastle, same kind of deal. Low level threat of any tornado, but there could be some isolated damaging winds here. Just kind of wait that out over the next 5 minutes. That'll pass off to the east of you very quickly. So that leading edge, this is the leading edge that I'm talking about as it moves to the east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. We'll be crossing over 421 very quickly. Areas that are now really have no concern of severe weather from this thunderstorm. Bethlehem, Oldham County now in the clear, as that is now northeast of you guys. We do have some heavy rainfall that does stretch down south to Crestwood and to near Anchorage and near the Snyder in 71. Nothing severe with that. And then some more pockets of heavy rainfall about to move into downtown and down towards the Dixie Highway, PRP, Valley Station. Again, nothing severe with that as well. Our main concerns have been up to the northeast of Metro Louisville, but it looks like that tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire, as Sam was mentioning here in just a couple of minutes. Sam, let's go ahead and go back to our broad view just to summarize everything that we're watching here this afternoon. We do have some ingredients for a few strong to severe thunderstorms. Not a zero chance of a tornado, but a very low chance of that. So we do have a severe thunderstorm watch for this afternoon. That's going to be mostly kind of the eastern half of our viewing, that area that stretches into eastern Kentucky as well. We'll likely get to see some of these areas out to the west of I-65 kind of clipped off from this watch a little bit later this afternoon as that main threat continues to move off to the east. It does look like the threat of severe weather will definitely diminish as we head into the late afternoon and definitely by the early evening hours. So I'd say 5, 6, 7 o'clock, that severe weather threat winding down very rapidly across the area. If we want to check out Futurecast one more time, there's another severe thunderstorm warning here, just to give you a heads up, in Greene and Taylor into southern Marion County. So that is going to include Campbellsville and also Greensburg for the potential of some isolated damaging wind gusts. So this kind of blob that you see here, the clusters of thunderstorms that we're watching right now, are going to continue to drift off to the east, kind of getting this push from these westerly breezes and that front that's going to move the activity off to the east. And again, things really settling down as we head towards the late afternoon, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. That main threat's going to start to move into eastern Kentucky, and we'll see the severe weather threat winding down. Again, we have got a new severe thunderstorm warning off to the southeast of Louisville, about 50, 60 miles off to the southeast of Louisville, including Campbellsville and Greensburg. We'll watch that little area for some development as well. Notice some more thunderstorms off to the southwest of Hart County. That goes until 2:45 Eastern time, 1:45 Central time. And notice our strong thunderstorm right over the Greensburg area, tracking off to the east and northeast towards Campbellsville. Might get some hail out of this and the isolated damaging wind gusts as well. For weather impact alert, Storm Team Meteorologist Sam Gabrielli. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine. Again, that tornado warning has expired. We've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings out there. We're going to continue to watch the threat through this afternoon as the severe thunderstorm watch continues. You can also, of course, find more information always at the bottom of our screen and at WHAS11.com and also our WHAS 11 app. Have a safe afternoon.